Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Dr. Ramakrishnan, Director, Shakti Institute of Information and Management Studies. Dr. Ram Ramanathan, Professor of Operations Management, University of Bedfordshire Business School, UK. Dr. Saji Gopinath, Professor and Dean Development, IIM, Coimbatore. In absentia, Mr. Panneerselvam will be joining us later. Mr. Badrinarayanan, Principal of NGM College. Members of the faculty and my dear students. It's indeed a pleasure to be here this morning to address this August gathering. I'm sure you're enjoying your short tenure here in the Shakti Institute of Information and Management. Most of you are at the threshold of life, deciding on the things that you have to do, the actions that you have to take, and therefore I could say that you are at the most critical phase of your life. India, as you all know, is a huge country with about 1.3 billion in population, and each and every person in this country has different needs and aspirations. It's so wide and varied, and all of you are very fortunate to have lived in this phase of the Indian history, because you are more lucky than your father or your grandfather or your great-grandfather, because this is the most exciting phase of our country, where the world looks upon India as a very promising and an emerging economy. So all of us are very lucky to have been living in this phase of the Indian history. As you all know, world population is aging. It is predicted by the year 2050, almost the 60 years and above old people will first time in the world of the history of the world will exceed the population of 16 years and below. So, which means more and more old people are going to be in this world. Compared to that, in India, about 60% of the population even then will be under the age of 25. So there lies a huge opportunity for all of you when you grow up and become business people. As you all know, as we look at today, the world, there are different entities at various stages of growth in the variety of fields. There are few that are not able to face the competition and just wither away over a period of time. There are many that are just able to survive the competition, they just keep their heads above the water. And there are very few companies that have achieved success and in the process growing very well. When you look at those companies that achieve success and growing very well, those are the companies that are innovating. The companies that are innovating are those companies that can grow in the future. When you look at those companies very closely, those are the companies that are going to create a need for the future so that that product can sell. Because a company that has a vision to create a need so that that products can be sold in the future are the companies that are innovating and growing. And when you look at those companies which are successful, you will also realize that these are the companies that look at technology, the future technology, to ensure that they have a space in the business world. So these companies don't look at today at all. They look at tomorrow's needs, tomorrow's technology, and they make themselves tuned to those technologies and those needs, and they come out with ideas or services or products to ensure that that company always stays in the front. So these are the companies that become more successful. It is not important to just see the tomorrow's needs, because it's not alone. Tomorrow needs recognition of tomorrow's needs alone is not enough. You also have to learn what is going to be the tomorrow's environment, so that in order to survive in the business world. So please remember that your competitor need not be from your own field. Tomorrow, when you become a business person, always remember that the competitor need not be from your own field. The competitor can be from a different field, entirely a different field, and he can pose serious competition to your own business. That is how the world is changing. For example, I'll quote you a couple of examples. If you think about cameras, when I ask you who is the largest producer, largest manufacturer of cameras in India, immediately all of us will say either Sony or Canon or Olympus or Nikon. Generally, we all think about cameras as people who make cameras, but mind you, the largest producer of cameras in this country is Nokia. Just through their mobile phone cameras, they produce much more cameras than the camera companies. So these companies like Sony or Olympus or Canon or Nikon did not foresee that Nokia will come into the mobile business, because Nokia has already launched 15 megapixel cameras. Future Samsung or Nokia or iPhones can bring in 20 megapixel, they can even bring in SLR cameras. So the camera business might get hit. The companies that only produces cameras might get hit because of this. Another example is, who do you think is the biggest music company in this country? It's not Sony or T-Series or Saregama. No, the biggest music company in India is Apple. Just by selling their caller tunes, 30-second caller tunes that all of us have in our mobiles, the 30-second caller tune, they earn much more than what the music companies earn. Which means Apple is not in the music business at all. It's actually because they have the largest mobile subscriber base in this country. They've become the largest music company. So by default, these are companies, these are competition which we cannot look at. We cannot imagine that they will be competitors to our business. But indirectly, somewhere, they will become competitors and they may start hitting our products. Google is coming out with, as you know, Google works with the Android platform, and they're going to come out with a TV where you can download movies, download shows and whatever, like how you download in your computer. And this might pose a bigger threat to the TV channels like HBO or Star Movies or so many other channels. So everyone who would discover something new, apparently the other business which is not either connected or not connected at all might get hit. For example, for the alarm clocks, how many of us use alarm clocks these days? All of us have mobile phones. We set alarm in our mobile phones. What happens to the companies that produce alarm clocks? Likewise, there are so many different products I can talk about where this change has come, and this change, before you realize that the competition is coming, they will hit you and pass you through. So we have to be always aware of. As entrepreneurs, if you look at these sort of competitors are also very difficult to identify and recognize. And so we have to be always on the move and to know that this is happening. And I'm not sure how many of you have read the book called Future Shock by Alvin Toffler. It was written in the year, I think, 1974 or 75. And even today it stands relevant, because Alvin Toffler said those days that what happened in 20,000 years happened in 2,000 years. What happened in 2,000 years had happened in 200 years. What happened in 200 years took only 20 years to happen. And what took 20 years will take only 2 years to happen. So imagine the change that is going to happen when you come out of this college. It's going to be tremendous, which means you have a lot of opportunities. Only two things I would like to say this morning, students. Number one, there is always room for innovation. Don't think everything has whatever has been invented has already been invented, whatever has been innovated has already been innovated, and there is no room for us, or no room for me. That kind of thing should not cross your mind. There is always room for innovation. For example, the last significant innovation that took place was as early in the year 1972, when someone Bernard invented wheels for your suitcases. You know, generally if you try to take your suitcase, your father or grandfather would have taken your suitcase, such a heavy suitcase in your flight or train, you have to carry it. But today we have wheels to push it around. So this small invention came in as early as in 1972. So there is so much more that needs to be done. Only, in my opinion, only about 8 to 10% of innovation of the humankind has come today, and there is 90% that is remaining. So having said that, what you have to look at is you have to keep yourself abreast with technology. You have to keep yourself with the wisdom of economy should be there with each one of you. What they teach inside classroom is not very important. What you seek knowledge, you have a beautiful library upstairs. I just have a look at it. And that kind of knowledge seeking is very, very important, and that will stand you in good stead. The second important thing is, don't think you are coming from a small town and so you have a disadvantage of the business world. No. People who have come from small towns have performed much, much better than people who have come from larger cities. So, if, for example, again quoting your father or grandfather, they always had to rely on books. For example, in a small town like Kolachi, would not have had so many libraries or so many books, whereas people who are in larger metros like Chennai or Bangalore or Hyderabad or Delhi or Bombay would have had much more accessibility to books. But today, you are equally accessible to knowledge and information like your peer group in the other metropolitan cities like Bombay or Hyderabad or Bangalore, thanks to the internet. You know, the information technology has come up so well that all you have to do is at the tap of your computer, Google search, or you see the YouTube or Wikipedia or wherever, you can find information that you want to, because which means you are at the same level of people who are studying in IIT or IIM or any other XLRA or any other renowned institutions. It's up to us to go and seek knowledge. Unless we seek knowledge, it's very extremely difficult for us, because all the institution can do is give you a base on how to develop your knowledge, and it is up to you to go and seek knowledge. And computer and information system is there for you to seek knowledge and become and know the wisdom of the economy. As I always say, that it's easy and economical to learn from the success of others than through our own mistakes. So making mistakes, learn through the success of other companies, how they innovated, how they came up, and what are the methodologies they took. Every company has a website, you can just go through it and learn more than what you learn in the classroom. If you would like to become an entrepreneur, because when all the innovations, most of the innovations have come through entrepreneurship, and every entrepreneur, mind you, started as a single person. So for that, you have to have the self-belief. You know, you have to have a self-belief that I can make a difference. As an entrepreneur, I can come up and make a difference. There are only two qualities as an entrepreneur that I would like to talk about. One is, please remember, the buck stops with you. Every responsibility, you are responsible in your business for everything. You cannot pass on the buck to the other person. When you have a business, the business stops, the buck stops with you, and it's up to you how to run your business. And you are responsible as an accountant, as a sales manager, as a boss, as a dispatch department responsible. You are responsible for your own business. And when you are responsible for your own business, the buck stops with you. You are the person who have to take the blame as well as the credit. So the number one, you have to be responsible to your own business. And number two, very important, you cannot be a 9 to 5 person. You know, when you want to start at 9 a.m. and finish at 5 p.m., then I don't think you can become an entrepreneur. To become an entrepreneur, you have to sleep work, eat work, and drink work. So it's that the business have to be in your mind 24/7, and only then you can become an entrepreneur. Just if you would like to be a 9 to 5 man where you start your work and finish up at 9 o'clock, 5 o'clock, then I think you can better go for a job. So entrepreneurship is inbuilt in the town of Pollachi and the Coimbatore district, because every large group like Mahalingam Group or Lakshmi Group or LG Group, all of them came up with a single person's vision. So it's each one of you that have to look at this as a very positive inspiration, and you are coming from a soil where it breeds entrepreneurs, and innovation and entrepreneurship go hand in hand, and there are so many opportunities, so much of potential in this country that you can look forward to. So with these few words, I would like to thank each one of you and our Professor Dr. Ramakrishnan for giving me this opportunity, and I'm sure you will enjoy the brief sojourn in college. These are the times that are most enjoyable in your phase of life. When you look back, your college days are the most enjoyable phase in your life. I'm sure you will enjoy this brief sojourn in college. Thank you and all for it.